Woman Experience, sponsored by Rencam Credit Union.
Yes, I came to win like a champion. Can't I live my dreams like a champion. Yes, I came to win like a champion. On my way to win like a champion. Beauty, I got it. Yes, I'm the queen. No man no talk past me. I'm the shit. I'll make you lose. Winning, I do. Solo money, I will show you the proof when I'm out to make a head. Walking Michael Jackson steps. Give her no pressure. Score like Ocean Miller. Win like Serena. Yes, I've been Santa. Feeling like a champion. Yeah. Oh, I'm feeling like a champion. Yes. Hey. Yes, I came to win like a champion. Can't I live my dreams like a champion. Yes, I came to win like a champion. On my way to win like a champion. Mother of man, she cook the food and feed you the food. Bringer of life, bringer of love. Look straight in your eyes and bring out the heart in you, oh woman. I'm out with the hand, walking Michael Jackson steps. Give her no pressure, just go like Ocean Miller. Win like Serena, yes, I'm dancing. I'm feeling like a champion. Yeah. I'm feeling like a champion. Yes. Yes, I came to win like a champion. And I live my dreams like a champion. Yes, I came to win like a champion. On my way to win like a champion. Give her the crown she deserves. It deserves.
Hi guys, good evening. Welcome to the Woman Experience. You know how it works every Wednesdays and Fridays. All I'm doing now is sharing. So if you can please kindly share as much as you can, and then we'll be starting in about a minute. So I'll see you soon. Tell a friend to tell a friend. We're starting the TWE tribe. I'm calling on you. Tell a friend to tell a friend. We start shortly in a minute. And that was Gasha with Feeling Like a Champion. So I'll see you shortly. Thank you.
Give her the crown she deserves. It deserves. Give her the crown she deserves it now. Africa, stand up! Did you Africa stand up? Are you Africa? Stand up! Stand up, Africa! Africa, stand up! Come around! All the beautiful ladies! I love you guys!
Hi, that was Gasha. Do you have that one song that every time you listen to it, you're so pumped, you feel like you're gonna conquer the world? That's my song. That's Gasha with Champion. Thank you guys so much for joining. I appreciate you. It's a Friday. It's been a really hot day in London, and I know that you want to just relax and probably watch a movie with your family, but you're here, to watch and learn through our shared experiences. And for that, we say thank you for spending your evening with us. Thank you very much. And I just want to welcome Auntie Angeline. Welcome to the show. Doris, Emmanuel, Fadimatu, Mimi. Thank you guys. Oh wow, you guys, thank you. Your stars, you're my stars. I appreciate you. So great. So our guest today, obviously, is the very, very beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Nadine, who is a personal development coach and so much more, who's joining us from France. If you can remember, just over last week, we couldn't continue our interview with her due to technical difficulties. So we rescheduled and she's here and everything seems perfect. So I'm really, really happy and excited. And I know that we're all going to have a really fabulous time. So thank you very much. Without further ado, I'm going to bring Nadine to the stream. Hi, Missy. Nadine, you're live now.
Hello.
How are you?
Hello, everybody. Hello, everyone. Thank you all for joining in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine, Dorothy. Thank you so much for the invite.
No, thank you very much, for sometimes when we share.
I am Nadine M.Tom.
Nadine, can you believe he started again? Nadine?
I guess I'm gonna have to call this backlog.
Well,
okay
not.
now?
It's clear now. Yeah, it's clear now. It's weird, isn't it? We've just been talking, it's been perfect, beautiful backstage. But maybe also, maybe it's because people are joining as well. Sorry?
Twice today. I think we've rehearsed twice today, and we didn't find any issue. So obviously, it should be okay.
It will be okay. I'm sure the more we
Let
talk,
me know when to start.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay, so Nadine, go on. Let's start.
So we just wait a bit for people to join in?
No, it's fine. Let's start now. They'll join in, don't worry.
Okay. Okay. Good. So is it that part where I present my...
No, so I want you to, again, let's use this opportunity to tell people who you are. This is very weird. I think this is at the point where we will start calling on prayer warriors, because we have rehearsed today at 11 o'clock in the morning. It was perfect. We have rehearsed again since 7:30. We've been online, just making sure that there are no issues. It's been wonderful. And then just as we go live, maybe I shouldn't have kept you backstage. But anyway, go on, Nadine. We're going to fight this. So just tell us a bit more about yourself. I will not interrupt until you're done with that.
Okay, like I said last time, I'm Nadine M.Tom. I am a sectoral purchase manager for France's fourth grocery store brand. And on the side, I am also a professional coach on personal development with the toppings of leadership and entrepreneurship. And as most people know me as a blogger since 2009, yeah. But right now I think it's time to step up the game. So I'm doing other things on the side.
Yeah, but tell me a bit more about what led to your blogging, because your blogging was really good. Tell me what led to your blogging.
Well, I think the best thing to do is probably to explain my story in a deep sense, so everyone can actually understand what I mean by turning failure into success. Well, yeah. I was working for this company, and for 3 good years, I was actually I was applying for promotion. So I got into this company as a supervisor, which is what they call your responsable, which is manager, but manager at the third level. So for 3 years, constantly, I had 7 promotion applications turned down, 3 annual interviews, all telling me I was driving results. I had an amazing performance, but I just wasn't the best fit. So one day, they actually they employed this woman. Well, she was actually an older woman, older than me, with
Yeah.
lower, when I say competence, lower education training. So I actually trained her. The truth is, I actually trained her for 6 months, and I I showed her everything that she had to do for the job. But little did I know that actually I was actually training her
For your job.
for the position that I wanted a promotion for. So
Yeah.
that's the reality of the exactly. So
Mm.
6 months, no, about 5 months into the training, then she was actually called for an interview for that position.
For the,
So I got mad. I back home.
Mhm.
I wrote a letter. Yes, Gority.
Yeah, no, so I was going to ask her, had you already
You want to say
applied for that?
something?
Yes. Had you applied for that position before she was
For
brought in for you
two
to
years,
train?
yeah, that was I already applied for that position for about 2 years and a half. Yeah.
Wow.
So exactly. So they brought this woman in. I trained her for 5 months. Then the 6th month, I realized she was like, "Oh, they just offered me a job interview," and I was like, "For what?" And it was actually the position that I was actually wanting, that I've been longing to apply for the past 2 years and a half. Then I was
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, but it just didn't make sense to me because I was the one actually training her. She
Training
was
her.
like, they literally handed her to me, and they were like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, you have to integrate her into the company. You have to
Mm-hmm.
train her. You have to tell her the in and out, everything that's happening to the company," and which is what I did. But little did you know that I was actually training someone that was going to come and command me after. Well, in quotes. So I got mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny, right? I don't want to get
Very.
into the issue that, oh, maybe she was white and I was black, blah blah blah. Yeah, okay. So I was extremely mad. I went back home. I drafted a letter to the director, like the director of France, the whole of the network for
Mm-hmm.
France. So I told, I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, actually, there's this position that was available, and you guys, I wasn't told that the position was available, but I recall that I was actually applying for the job for a long time, you know, and I was trying to tell them, oh, this is what I've done, this is what I've achieved, this is who I am, this is what I do, trying to give them all my key performance indicators and all key performance actions.
Mm-hmm.
The letter that I got wasn't a sweet letter at all. So they actually got back to me immediately after a week, and they told me, they were like, well, yeah, you've applied. This is the fifth, or this, no, I think they said it was 6th time that I was applying, but
Yeah.
yet they feel like yet le candidat avec la meilleure adéquation. So
What
they
does
felt
that
like I
mean?
wasn't the best fit. So it's not
Right.
like I didn't have what it takes, but it's just that I wasn't the best fit. Good. You're
So
probably gonna
by
understand later on. It's later on that I understand why. But at that time, I'm so mad. So at that time, I'm extremely mad. So I go
yeah.
home, and I decided, like, I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna take this humiliation. It's too much of a humiliation to me. Not only for the past years I've been trying to get this position, but yet I have trained people who have gone to be regional managers, regional purchase
Wow.
managers in another department,
Nadine,
and I was like, it's just such a humiliation for
Nadine,
me. So I have to exactly.
by that time, how long had you been with the company?
Oh, by that time I'd been with the company for 4 years.
Wow. Okay, just hold it there because a few people are just joining us now. So, for those who are joining us, welcome to the show. Welcome to the Woman Experience. I'm your host, obviously, Goretti. And tonight we're talking to personal development coach Nadine M. Ton. And what we're talking about today is how to turn your failures into success. Because all of us, or almost all of us, have corporate jobs or are working, generally working for somebody, and even if we're working for ourselves, this is going to prove very relevant. So we're trying, Nadine coaches a lot of people how to manage their businesses, and what Nadine is going to help us today is talk about how we give us practical tools on how we can change our story within the corporate environment. There are so many reasons why we are overlooked for success. There's for promotions, there's so many reasons why we don't feel like part of the team. And this is what we're chatting with Nadine today. Nadine is joining us from Paris. I'm sorry, from France. But for some reason, the network has decided to play us off again. And this is twice in a row. But we're going to crack on because we're going to trust that it's going to change. So for those of you who are joining us, thank you. Bear with us because it's going to be worth your while. So Nat, we continue. So at this point, you've been with the company for 4.5 years, and you have personally trained somebody. So your story so far, you've been with the company for about 4.5 years.
Wow, I
You
learned a lot.
you you have trained so many
I
people.
actually trained a lot, but I think
Yeah,
most
you
of
have
them went to work.
exactly. You've trained so many people, and there has been a position you're vying for, which you've applied for over 6 times, and you have trained somebody who has gone on to apply for the position, and then let's forget that the person was white. They just told you that you're not a fit. So let's go from there. What did they mean by that? The right fit for the company?
Yeah, they kept on telling me I wasn't the best fit, and But the thing is, that sixth time when the woman told me, oh, she actually invited me for coffee,
Mm-hmm.
and she was actually thanking me that, oh, because of you, because obviously I was training her and I was giving feedbacks on
Yeah,
how she was adapting to the company, on how and they were all positive feedbacks. I couldn't have lied. My integrity is on
yeah.
the line there. So obviously that those feedbacks, yeah. So in order to thank me, she knowing the code, it's all about cracking the code. When you know the code, you can go everywhere. So she invited me for coffee. She actually bought me a perfume as a gift,
Mm-hmm.
just to thank me for everything that I've done, how I introduced her. I took her swinging into the company, step by step. I introduced her to everybody, I introduced her to all the systems and everything. So she was actually thanking me over a cup of coffee, where she invited me. But I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie to you. While I was sitting down, taking that coffee with that woman, I swear to God, if it was if it was in some place, maybe in Cameroon, I swear to something else would have happened. Because it wasn't just funny. It was.
I can
I'm sorry
imagine.
to say,
It's
it
like,
wasn't funny.
mhm.
When you're over a cup of coffee with someone and the person is literally
Yeah,
thanking you, and the person doesn't know your story. She doesn't know that
yeah.
you've been applying for that particular position. And the thing is, they gave her that position, but it was in the same region. That is my region where I'm working. You know, and she was born in the region.
She was born in a region. Okay, it's beginning to
Yeah.
make sense now.
So
Let's just tell you what
when
it
we
is,
started,
man. Mm-hmm.
okay, so I was literally sitting back in the coffee with her, and I was literally my guts. I was just like, what? I felt like I was like, oh my God. So actually, I was actually training someone and giving all these positive feedbacks for someone that was actually gonna
Take my
gonna
job.
actually take the position that I've been longing to get for the past years.
Yeah.
So I went back home. I was, yeah. But the thing is, you just can't imagine the humiliation, that
I
comes
can
with it.
imagine. Yeah.
To train someone that is gonna go above you. It's
Yeah. It's annoying. It's
it's
just
not
it's
a
really
good thing
annoying.
to live
Yeah.
to it's not a good thing to live. Honestly, you know, wherever you are, wherever very difficult to swallow. So I went back home. I said, okay, I'm going to resign. You know, when I got their reply, when I got the reply back from
Mm-hmm.
the director, the network president, you know,
Yeah.
still reiterating that I wasn't the best fit, even though he understands that after talking to all my manager, all the people that were above me, you know,
Mm-hmm.
that in terms of performance, I was, you know, they couldn't dispute my performance, but
Yeah.
only I just wasn't fit.
The
And
right
then
fit.
just the fact that he put the nail, you know, back in the wound,
Yeah.
I just went back
Yeah.
home and I was like, you know what, ça ne vaut plus la peine. I have to resign. So the weekend, I drafted my resignation letter, and I went for a jog on Saturday. Came back in the morning. Came back
Mm-hmm.
that morning. Just sat down with over a cup of tea, and I remember I was just swinging through my baby's album, and then I called my mom, and I was like, "Hello, mom. How are you?" I'm like, I'm literally telling you, know, moms, you know, when you're down, you have to tell them, you know.
Yeah.
So I'll literally tell you how my next mom, oh, I'm gonna resign. So in order not to waste so much time with my life, since the biological clock is ticking, blah 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 blah, I think I'm gonna resign, then have another baby, and then
Mm-hmm.
you know, and then see what I can do next. And then she literally just said, quoi? Tu dis quoi? Qu'est-ce que tu as dit? J'ai pas bien compris la phrase que tu as dit avant. I said, I'm just
Mm-hmm.
gonna see if I can have another baby. No. And then and she was like, dois avoir un autre enfant? Ah bon, tu dis vrai? I was like, yeah. But I think I had completely forgotten what I had said when I had my first baby. You know,
Yeah.
because when I had my first baby, I literally told everyone that, you know, I remember when I was getting out of the maternity ward I because I had my baby, it was a very difficult birth. So I had my baby, you know, and the midwives, they were literally telling me, they were like, oh, madame, au revoir. Like the thing, when you spend more than a week in a maternity ward, when you go out, it's like, you know, it's a different, it's different from people who come and spend 3 days. So
Yeah.
yeah, so they were literally, I got flowers, and they were literally telling me, don't worry, we'll see you in 2 years' time. You know, 2 years' time. And I was like, I'm not coming back here.
I'm not
And I
coming
remember
back.
the midwife, she was very old. She was very old. She was her name actually was Jackie, and she was like, ne vous inquiétez pas, vous serez là dans 2 ans. And I'm like, non, désolé Jackie, je crois pas que je vais encore remettre les pieds ici. So, and she was, oh, ne t'inquiète pas, tu vas tout oublier. So my mom was like, tu te rappelles de tout ce que tu as dit quand tu as eu ton And I was
Ah,
like, so when we finished that conversation, actually, when when she hung up, something ticked, something came out. You know, I was like, it was like it was that clicking moment, you know, where I
yeah.
was like, wow, okay, so I really said all of that, but now I'm thinking on having another one, you know, and I've
Yeah.
completely forgotten what happened, you know, completely forgotten what I went through. And the thing is, what
Mm-hmm.
I'm going through right now in my job is not even fatal. You know, childbirth is fatal. You know, we go through
Yeah.
a life and death moment, give birth to a child. And I was like, but yet that doesn't stop any woman in the world, you
From
know,
having
from
more
having
children.
another one, another one, and another one. And I was like, so
Yeah.
why am I, for God's sake, am I quitting my job? You know, I have the best prime when you know, I have the best prime. Yeah, it's true. It wasn't the salary that I wanted, but I had prime at the end of the year. What they call I don't
What's
know what I've
prim? What's
forgotten the word
prim?
in
What's
English.
But anyway? Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's it. I said,
Like a bonus?
they're like tips that they give you, they're patients that they give you at
Okay.
the end of the year. So
Okay.
depending on the level of managerial position that you have, you can have up to 1,000 or up to 2,000 a year. You know,
Yeah.
depending
Mm-hmm.
on where you are, and that's just free. So you know what? At the end of the year, I have this amazing cream that that I get for Christmas and all that. So why am I quitting the job? So that day, I took my resignation letter. I read it all over again, and I chucked it in the bin.
Hold on. Hold
I
on
chucked it
that
in the
thought,
bin. I
Doctor.
was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go to work.
So Nadine, hold on. You said Luisa says the moment you feel rejected by your employer is an indication of a major review for change in your career path. So in your situation, when you, because now after having spoken to your mother and after thinking about all your prime, you're saying that you took back your resignation and decided you were going to go back to work. But what when Louisa says here that the moment you feel rejected by your employer is an indication of a major review for change in your career path, did that did that did was that the case for you?
But of course, that's why I wrote the resignation letter, and the next career move was to be a mom for the second time.
But then, well, if that,
Why
oh
think
wait, I think I should say that was the case for you. But then, what changed your mind to go back? Is it just because of women? The story, what you said about women give birth, and then no matter how difficult and how hard it is, we still go on to give birth.
honestly no, because my mom said
Okay,
something to me during the
okay. What did
conversation.
mom?
She was like, ma chérie, she was like, I've paid your way through school, but sometimes you just have to forget. Now, if I put it in French, hopefully if your viewers can understand, it's like souvent tu dois oublier ces histoires de long crayon. And
Right,
sometimes you just have to forget that you've been to school and just think like someone who's never been to school wants that
right.
position. And actually, that
See,
was
I
what she's
like
been
that.
telling me for a long time. But
I like
how
that.
could you be working for a position that the intellectual student and they're telling you to forget that you're So she was like, sometimes you just have to forget. Ma chérie,
Yeah.
oublie que tu es allée à l'école. Oublie
Wow.
tout ce côté de l'école et
Think
commence
like
à
a
raisonner
hustler.
comme quelqu'un qui n'est pas allé à l'école et qui veut avoir l'accès à des positions. Exactly. So all those
Ah,
things. So when we dropped the phone, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna enjoy. Yeah, I'm just gonna
yeah.
enjoy going to work. Just forget about all the stress, all the pressure I'm putting on myself on having this
Mhm.
job. I'm just gonna forget about all of that. And what happened from that Monday, 27 weeks later, changed my life.
Wow.
And 20 really count 27 weeks, because at the 24th week, I got a proposition for an interview.
Wow.
So what happened
So,
is, the thing is, when I went back, what happened during that time is, what saved me is, actually, I don't know if your viewers can see. I hope they can see. I've tried to draft something. This
yeah.
actually, is it okay? Good.
Yeah.
So
Communication
what
and
happened?
connecting.
Yeah, all in the context.
Yeah.
I'm gonna elaborate that with the but actually, this is what got me my promotion. But the thing is, while I was doing all that, I wasn't even aware of what I was doing. But one thing is,
Yeah.
for the past 3 years that I was trying to get the job, I was actually noticing certain things around me. But the thing is, I come from, like, I am a francophone, a Cameroonian francophone.
Yeah.
But I did my education with the anglophone of Cameroon. Then my higher education is English, so Ireland. So having all those culture, all those two, having those two cultures, it was difficult to, it was extremely difficult, because I actually thought that I had figured it out. Oh, I had figured it out. I knew
Yeah.
there was just no way this couldn't have been mine.
Yeah.
So going back to work, I went back to work. I just decided to enjoy knowing my colleagues, enjoy knowing
Oh,
everybody. I just, I had no, I was stress free. Honestly, it was bizarre, but I was just accepting the humiliation. I was like, and so what?
right.
Yeah, even if, yeah, that's the thing, accepting the humiliation and going face to face with all those people, that thought you
Yeah.
were not the best fit.
Right. That's interesting. So if
That's the
somebody,
thing. So when I went back, you know,
Nadine, if somebody is going through this kind of situation currently at work, what would you advise them? I mean, even before we move on to how you change, if somebody is going through this now, that where you find yourself in a situation where you have been asking to be promoted, you have not been promoted for as many years as you've been in the company, and you know that you are way more qualified, and even worse at that, you are training people who are being promoted over you. You're being passed over consistently. I mean, there are so many things that you'll be thinking about. Is it because I'm black? Is it because they are white? But how would you advise them in that situation? What would you tell them right now?
what I would say is, this nobody's fault but you. The world
wow.
around us is never going to change.
Right.
It's nobody's fault. Nobody's fault. It's you. You have to find inside you. If you're not being accepted, there's a reason. Sometimes it's just those. In my case, it wasn't because I
Yeah.
wasn't intelligent. It wasn't because I didn't know how to use a system. It wasn't, but it's just that I was very dogmatic. I have been brought up in with the Irish culture where, where there is this strong embedded KPI objectivity in me. So to me,
Yeah.
I just didn't understand why people were coming to work, bringing things to work, hanging out, doing certain things. Because to me, I felt like if you do that, I compromise. They
Yeah.
might say, "Oh, she's doing that because she wants the promotion." But hell
That's what
no,
you
no
were
one
thinking.
cares about that in France. No one cares about. There's no strict KPI objectivity in France. It doesn't exist.
So you have to
In
understand
France,
the culture.
there is this.
Okay, go on. We
There
can't
is this in France. This is what
acceptance of
there is
bad
in France.
performance equals to promotion. Acceptance plus bad performance equals to promotion. I need you to elaborate on that, please, Nadine. That makes no sense. How can bad performance and acceptance get promotion? That makes no sense.
That's it doesn't make any sense. No, it doesn't. But that's what it is. So if you think you're gonna come with all your big diploma, with your long crayon, and you're just gonna work and work and work and work and drive performances, be the first to come to work and be the last to go home. Désolé, you're just gonna be that person who exists and drives good performance. And honestly, if you exist and drive and have good performance, and another person is being accepted and drive bad performances, they are way better than you.
Oh my goodness. So in other words, you really need to understand the culture of the environment you work in, because not all environments that you work in care about how good you are at your job. That's what you're saying.
It's even further than the culture. When we talk about culture, it's too large. You need to crack the code.
Crack the code.
Crack this, in everything we do, there is code. And that code, you don't need to be an astronaut to have that code. Sometimes the code are just little things, but little things that to you, to your culture, to where you come from, just differently. So you just don't abide to those codes, but to another culture, they don't care. In France, everything is about ambiguity. So long as you stay in that zone, that gray zone of ambiguity, even if you're a manager, they will teach you how to stay in that gray zone. Even how to, I would say, the manipulative zone. So long as you know how to stay in that, sorry, but that's the word.
But that's the
manipulative zone. You win.
Wow.
You win. And I when you go to school in places like Ireland where they teach you about objectivity, good governance, blah 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 blah, yada yada yada. Oh, seriously, no, no. There's another part of this world where it doesn't work.
Right. I'm thinking about. I wonder if that's the same case in Cameroon. Although Emmanuel said something here. Emmanuel says, Nadine, I think you were humiliated because you have been out for too long. For us back in the country, it is very normal. We just know that certain things have their choices of selection.
Yeah.
In other words, corruption.
But the thing is that,
yeah.
You can call it, the thing is here, you can call it whatever you can call it whatever you want,
Yeah.
But to me, there are rituals that you need to abide by.
Yeah, in a work environment.
Rituals. And most of those rituals, you've cracked the code. I used to wonder why people, when people, I saw people when they have a job, when they're being employed, they're fighting so much to be accepted.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because they've grown here. They know what it is. It's about acceptance.
Right.
It's
You
about
gotta be.
acceptance.
It's about acceptance. You have to be.
You have to be accepted. The fact that you've been employed, that's what they call they have CDD and then they have CDE.
Mm-hmm.
CDD is a temporary contract. So sometimes they can give you a CDD just to see if you work on that part of being accepted.
Mm-hmm.
Because look, everybody can come early to work.
Yeah.
Everybody can do certain things just the way they've shown there. But
Mm-hmm.
you have to work on something else, on being accepted by your boss, on being accepted by your peers. So what I did with this was that this helped me actually. This helped me.
It's upside down with
Can
you.
you see? Like this. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, this helped me. This this helped me have what they call consensus.
Okay.
The fact that
Mm-hmm.
came because what I did, the two, I think to me, I think the two crucial things that I did, which most of you will probably laugh at, the two crucial things that I started bringing croissant to work.
Right.
I
Yeah.
was a chef for croissant. I mean, there were some weeks that when I don't bring, people are coming to me, est-ce qu'il y a les croissants dans ta voiture? Ah, oh, merde, mais tu déconnes, toi. Pourquoi t'as pas amené de croissant aujourd'hui? You understand?
So that was
I
your.
was the, if they wanted if they
If
wanted to eat croissant, it's me.
you gave them croissant.
So it was always croissant. And the funny thing is that the way I did it was, I was just buying a box of croissant in a big box and just come and put it in the canteen. No, I was actually, trying to, I was actually trying to be like we do back home. You know, je fais pour le directeur, I put 4 croissants, his own box alone, the 2 directors, the other managers under them, and then we, the managers, we have our box, So
Mm-hmm.
just the fact that I did that and that I respected the hierarchy in a casual way,
Yeah.
that's called a point.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing that I did, was, sorry, at about 4 months after, because the co-director, which is the second director, he doesn't smoke. So literally when there's a smoke, when it's la pause de 15 minutes du matin, he's always at the canteen. So we always meet at the canteen all the time. So I went to the canteen, and there's this thing that they call, if you're the first, if you're the second, if you've already met people in the canteen, we're taking coffee, you have to ask them. You have to ask them if they want coffee.
Oh, wow.
Or you don't even ask. You just put money in the machine and then you just bring the coffee to them. They will not deny it.
Right.
So those are the two rituals. Or you just come in because we had a big coffee machine and you just be like, oh, je crois que toi c'est du latte, je crois que toi c'est du café sans sucre, je crois, papa, you just put. So that's why it became, I just enjoyed, just doing that. And then I sat there with my boss and I was like, oh, monsieur, je crois qu'il est temps.
So Nadine, I think what I'm hearing from what you're saying is that you began to observe how it works in your workplace, how people what's the word? How people interacted, right? You were really observant, and then you started doing the same.
Exactly.
Is it? Yeah. So like that, you started basically mirroring. That's
exactly
mirroring, isn't it? Yeah. But before we continue, Elliot says my ethics class in business school was complete garbage as far as its practicality to the real world.
Exactly.
Did you hear that?
Exactly. So that's the thing, the thing you can be observant, but there's some things that will sleep, you see, but you'll be like, just that, but those little things
Yeah.
can make huge difference. Yeah, when they go to the restaurant, you go to when they're outings, there are things, yes, you go. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
normal. To them it's normal, but there's an
Yeah.
extra that you have to do. And it's only them, yeah. You have to understand that I'm not in Paris.
Yeah.
Paris is cosmopolitan.
Yeah.
I am in Ottawa.
Yeah.
So which is two different. The thing is, you can't compare the culture in Paris and the rest of France. It's
Yeah.
different.
It's different. Yeah.
Can I continue?
Yes, go on. Continue.
Can I continue? Okay, good.
Yes.
Okay, so literally, I sat down with my boss, and I was like, "Oh, boss, it's 3 years since I've been here, and honestly, I've just realized that I don't have a parent. I don't have a parent. I'm like, boss, would you mind being my parent?" And then he looked
Uh-huh.
at me. That I was actually wondering what when you were.
Is that not like, yeah, yeah. Is
Yeah,
that not like bribery and corruption of some sort? But go on, yeah, I get it.
please leave that word out of this.
This is why Cameroon is the way it is. But
It
go on.
doesn't exist here. It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Talk about connecting. Talk about connecting. So I was like,
Yeah.
boss, it's a long time since I've been here, and I think it's time for me to have a. I think it's time. And then he looked at me and was like, "Oh, I was actually gonna wonder when you were gonna actually have a parent in this company."
What's a
And I was like,
parent, right?
really?
What's a
Is it
parent? Is that like
important? He was like,
is
but
that,
yeah.
Nadine, is a parent a mentor?
Okay, let me take it. Let me take it. You've been to boarding school, right? You've been to
Yeah.
boarding school, right?
Yeah.
Boarding school back home.
Yeah.
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 When you got to boarding school, the first thing you had was a school mom.
Yeah.
Was a school mom, and that school mom, depending on what level, if the school mom is a school prefect, that means you're never gonna have punishment,
Oh, true.
isn't it?
Yeah. I wonder for people who
So,
have worked.
and then
Yes.
if you have a school mom, and if you have a school mom who was literally like a normal girl, regular girl, tu vois, souvent tu vas faire les punitions, souvent tu ne feras pas,
Yeah.
So it depends, so that's the same thing, so that is just the same thing.
It's
It's literally the
Cecilia
same
says
thing.
it's
So
Godfather.
exactly, that's what it is. So when I asked him, he was like, "Oh yeah, sure, I'll gladly be your parent, glad." But the
Mhm.
thing, he was like, "Okay, now and then he was like, since I'm your parent, this is just literally just like 2 minutes after. He was like, okay, since
Mhm.
I'm your parent, before doing anything, you have to tell me." I was like, "Huh? Okay."
Mhm.
I was like, yeah, if you want to write any letter for whatever, send any email or whatever, you need to first of all inform me." I was like,
Right.
really? So the fact that I was trying to walk my walk solo and literally just depend on my performance, I
Yeah.
thought, I actually thought just I would be picked on merit and competence, but no,
Yeah. No.
no. The moment you get into, and that's what they do here. The moment someone get into the company, they work. The first 4 months they're just working so hard to be accepted.
Tessie
They're
says
working
that
extremely hard just to be accepted. They don't even care because look,
Tessie says that she knows how to play the corporate politics. You have to if you want to have an enjoyable work life and if you want a vertical move. And that's exactly what she's saying. Wow, you have to crack the code. You have to crack the code.
but I didn't know that.
Yeah, but how exactly is it in the English
I had to
working
learn.
environment? Because Nadine, you worked in Ireland, you lived in Ireland. How is it? How much you said it in the beginning, but a lot of people have just joined us. How different is the working cultures or corporate politics in Ireland between the French culture and the English speaking culture?
Oh, I was still a I was still a student doing my masters, and I was already doing 5 to 12 in O'Connor Street as a
Mm-hmm.
manager for Tesco.
Mm-hmm.
I was still in school. I didn't have to stress too much to get a job. I just had to prove that I can have it, that I can do it. I was literally being judged on my competence and merit.
On competence and merit in Ireland, yeah.
But if you want to come to France and just show competence, tu vas pourrir. You're never gonna go up the ladder.
That's
You are
interesting.
never, ever gonna go up the ladder.
Yeah.
It's harsh to say. It's harsh to say, but that's the truth. It's harsh to say, but that's the truth. So, from what I heard was that once I asked my boss, he could be my parent, what happens is that they have meetings every month. And in that meetings, they discuss the prospect of promoting people internally.
Right.
So they discuss if somebody need or if they need to hire from outside. So in a space of 8 weeks, my name was already in the bell in those meetings.
Just because you got a parent. Okay, this corporate politics is no.
But yeah.
Right. Okay, see, Tessie says it goes hand in hand with competency as well, Goretti. You need to know your stuff, and trust me, it's the same in the UK. But bring that form that you that thing you wrote. She said in France, put it up. You remember Nadine? Nadine said to succeed in France. No, not that one. The first one, Nadine.
Oh, this one. Okay.
Yes, Nadine says in France is Tessie, the difference is in France is acceptance plus bad performance. Basically, they don't care about your performance. They just care that you're part of the team. That's what gets you a promotion. So that's the difference between us in the UK with the English culture, and I think it's probably like that in America and most English speaking working cultures.
So me coming from Ireland,
yeah,
coming from Ireland, I was literally burning myself out.
Yeah,
trying to prove that I can do the job. But now I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm as relaxed as anything. I mean, if I get up, and I know I'm gonna be late, all I have to do is just to call my boss and be like, "Look, boss, I think I'm gonna be 2 hours late."
Right.
And then all he's gonna be like, blah 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 blah. I'll just c'est passé là. Are you gonna be at what time this time? Okay, good.
So they don't. Wow. But this is
but so, you have to crack those.
Exactly. Exactly. And I really want you to reiterate that. Thank you. Some people are joining us. Thank you for joining. And again, we are talking with personal development coach and Nadine M.Tom, who is telling us how to succeed with corporate politics in the workplace. We call it corporate politics. Nadine refuses to call it corporate politics, but it is that corporate politics. So, but Nadine, if you were going to advise anybody randomly whom like I said before, who is at that point where they are trying to get that promotion, and who is not working in France or anywhere in the world right now, give me two or three practical things you would tell them for them to be able to get in good graces.
Well, the thing is, if you are being hired, once you're validated and you're like, okay, you signed your contract, that means they know you have the skill.
Yeah.
They know you have the skill needed. There's no doubt about it. The first 2 months, if you're still there, it depends. In France, when you're a cadre, you have when you're a manager, you have 3 months. And when you're a cadre, you have 6 months, sometimes in the lab, which is what they call la période d'essai. So within that 6 months, if you're not well, if you don't perform well, they can kick you out. Or if you don't like the job, you can go. You can just tell them, I'm leaving. So when you're accepting the company, you already know. They already know you have the competence. After the first 2 months, they already know.
Yeah.
You have to understand the cultural politics and the space politics and the company politics, and know how to play the game. Observe the rituals, especially the rituals. especially what goes on behind after the meetings are over, what
Mm-hmm.
goes on after the seminars are over.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you need to know. After the seminars are over, who stays in the conference room and who goes away?
Mm-hmm.
Why are they staying in conference room?
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Because sometimes when
Yeah.
when the conference or when the meeting is finished, you see two or three ground floor. When I call them ground floor, like the
Mm.
sangalons,
Yeah.
who don't, they are the they are the ones who are always trying to get that connection with the bosses.
Yeah.
So you always have to observe those kind of things. When your boss, your manager, whoever has his birthday, how is the ritual? What is happening? Those
Mm.
I know it sounds like it's stupid. It sounds like it's not important, but it's
It's very important.
extremely important. It's
It's very
very, very,
important.
very vital. Those informal and those things always happen in an informal setting.
Mm-hmm.
What happens there? What
Mm-hmm.
happened in the formal setting? It's scripted. It's we all know, it's written. But
Mm-hmm.
what happened in the informal setting? What is being discussed? How is it being discussed? Who is pulling the
Mm-hmm.
strings? Who has the authority?
Mm-hmm.
Who doesn't have the authority?
Yeah.
That's what you need to be able to understand.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you understand that, you will be able to play your game in a way that you will be accepted. You play your game in a way that you will seek indirectly for consensus.
Yep.
So,
I like
well,
that.
in my case, when I came in, I was literally trying to work hard to show them that I can do it. I can drive results. I can, this and so sales. This product can be sold. I was tired. But now that I even have more workload, but I feel very more relaxed.
Mm.
So that's the thing. Once you have cracked the code, once you have identified the code, use it. If other people can use it, why not you? What do you
Right.
have to, it's not about it's not about betraying your values. It's not about betraying your values. But it's just that you are in a different setting where it works.
Yeah.
And I remember when I got that letter after my sixth application, I literally told the French that they were racist. I
Mm.
knew in my heart of heart that they were racist.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, no, they were not. They were not. It's just that the position that I was requesting is a position where at that level you need to start playing politics. It's not more about your performance, because when you're a purchase manager, you have to be able to understand what priority do you purchase from. The French people, they like eating made in France.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be able to juggle with that politics. And so
Mm.
when you are purchasing something made in France, you need to be able to know how much you can purchase and how much you can put the price for. So at that level, it becomes the politics, because well, let's say, for example, if you're buying apples, apples made in France, even if they're selling it for twice the price, the French people, it's going to sell out.
Mm.
But apple made in Spain, because of the pesticide reason and all of that, even if you're selling it for 1 cent, they will buy.
I
So
see.
at that level, it's all about
Understanding the
and they also want, and they want someone which they have a grip on. I
right.
know, everybody, everyone at the top wants his assistant to be the person
Mm-hmm.
that they can have a grip on, someone that they can be able to tell them, do this and they do that and they do this and they do, someone that you can be able to manipulate. So the moment you can put yourself as that person where you can be manipulated, even if you can't, anyway, the best way, like my mom always say, the best way to manipulate someone is by being manipulated. My mom always says
Your
that.
mom is wise. But yeah, before you continue, Nadine, Elliot says
If language is
Elliot says
sorry.
networking is Yeah, Elliot is saying networking equals to get out of your comfort zone and mingle with a succeeding crew while learning a thing or two. Is right there. And um Cecilia is asking you, are you still working with that company while doing this live session? Like, will your boss parent hear this and still be your parent, or you've left that
No,
job?
I am. And my boss knows I'm doing
So yeah, your boss now become more
it's
than
too
parent.
you know when you go to Rome, but yeah, when you go to when you go to Rome, do what the Romans do.
Yeah, I think
And
that's
that's
it,
the
really.
thing, I was being dogmatic, you know, by showing, the thing is, by doing all those things, I showed that I showed that I had what they call relationnel. There's what they call in France relationnel. I showed that I had it. You can interpret the actions, but with them, they interpret like someone who has relationnel. That means if you meet with a supplier, the relationship you're gonna have with him is gonna ease the buying, and it's
Mm,
gonna ease the price drop.
mm.
All
And that's
about
what they care
relationnel,
about.
and that's what they exactly. So that was what I was actually demonstrating by doing all of that. Now you can say, yeah, I've done it. No, no, it's because they want to know, est-ce que tu es quelqu'un qui est relationnel?
Mm,
And that starts with your colleagues. So now if you want to go to the point where you say three things that can help anybody out there,
mm-hmm.
for me, the first thing is don't abandon too quickly.
Okay.
Don't abandon too quickly, because I have another chat here. Hope everybody will be able to see. Uh, hope everybody's doing. Where is it? Yeah. Okay. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'll try and explain that. Can everybody see?
Yes. Action, plateau,
Is that okay,
capacity.
Dorothy? No.
I can see. Yeah, we can see. Yes, can see it clearly.
The thing is,
Yeah.
yeah, the thing is that when you set out to an action, when you set out for an action, what
Mm-hmm.
happens is that you are driven by enthusiasm, by
Enthusiasm.
motivation.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it goes straight. But after a while, then after a while it plateaus. And it plateaus it probably because you are unable to get it.
Yeah.
So what happens with people is that they drop and then you fail. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what you call failure. What most people call failure. But I call, there's always a lesson learned there. And I see that little box up there.
Mm-hmm.
you know so from that point, so what happens within that little box is actually that how you build the capacity for persistency. That's where you build your resilience, and that's
Mm-hmm.
what takes you to success.
Okay.
So the thing, so we set out to do something. we when we set out to do something, when we have an idea, we always think that we figured it out. We
Mm-hmm.
just thought we've had the idea. We think we figured it out. But honestly, no knowledge, no previous knowledge is going to get you the result that you want.
Right.
What is going to get you the result that you want is when you actually start getting the ball rolling, when you actually putting the action into place, the lessons
Mm-hmm.
that you learn, the tacit knowledge that you gain from putting that action into place. That's what
Mm.
get you closer and closer and closer to your success. So the second point here is there's no such thing as failure. We
Mm-hmm.
need to wipe that out of our mentality. We need to change the way we think. We because the fact that we always think there's failure, we always feel that's what makes us scared of taking an action. You have to
Yes.
understand that when there are two outcomes. Either you win or you learn. The winning part is what we call success. And the
Mm-hmm.
learning part, the lesson that we learn, because it's not the lesson, not what we wanted, we feel like we failed. But no, there's no such failing. So when you take an action, you either win, or if you have learned the lesson, you keep taking the action. You're still gonna learn something. But there's a different twist. And the twist is, when you take the next action, you just
Mm-hmm.
adapt it to the result that you've gotten previously.
Repeat
We
that again.
actually need to change our
Repeat that again.
mentality.
Repeat that again. So when you take the lesson, repeat what you just said,
Like,
please.
when you take an action, I take an action.
And action.
Yeah, my personal development training, I call it an action.
Yeah.
When you take an action, there are two outcomes. Either you win
Or
or
you
you learn.
fail. Or you. Do you know what? There's an argument.
That's
That's
what
great.
I
That
just
thing.
said.
There's
There's no
an
such thing as
argument
failing.
that this new, all these Anthony Robbins and all these wonderful motivational speakers whom I really follow and believe in, say, there's the old school of thought who says we should stop saying that there's no such thing as failure. We should stop saying that it's only, because even Nelson Mandela said it's a learning experience, it's not failure. But what is wrong with regarding it as failure? Like, I failed, but I've learned lessons from this failure
The
and
thing
I'm moving.
the thing is, failure has always it has been a word that has been tarnished. Just the fact that we have this thing. Oh no, I'm not gonna be afraid of failing. And so what if you fail? So if you actually say no, okay, I'm gonna embark on this. At least even if it doesn't work out the way I want, at least I must have learned something. Look,
Yes.
let's take this. We all have to be like research. Like, I see we're walking in the lab. You know,
Mm,
when you carry out an experiment, you're gonna get an outcome. Whatever happens, you're gonna get an outcome. You're
yeah.
gonna get a result. Maybe it's not the result that you want, but it is a result. So the next time you carry the next experiment, you're just gonna adapt that experiment based on the result that you had previously. And
True.
the thing is, we're just we just don't give ourselves time for that experiment. So when we take an action, we want it now. We want the result now. I need to get it now. No. So literally, so when we don't get it the first time, the second time, we're literally discouraged. But we need to ask ourselves, why did I not get it? What lesson did what did I learn from that?
Mm-hmm.
How if I have to carry the action again, how do I adapt that action based on the lesson I have learned?
Mm,
It's
yeah.
a process. It's a long
Definitely.
process to get there. That's true. But the moment you program your mind, you're just gonna go through life like there was nothing. You're just gonna swing in, like what they say in French. Tu vas relativiser.
Right.
So and my third point is, your past failures don't determine your future. We have to understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Every day you get up, every day that we get up, we have a blank page before us. So it's not
Mm-hmm.
because you sold peanut yesterday, you didn't get any customer. That means you're gonna sell the same peanut today and you won't get a customer.
True.
Every day before us has a blank page.
Yeah.
So just because you failed yesterday doesn't mean, the only thing that can determine your future are your true values, who you are. So you need to align who you are with your mission.
Mm. How do you
That's
how do
important.
you recognize that mission? How do you identify your mission?
Your mission is what you want to do, the action
Mm,
you've carried out. The mission with the action you're about to carry out. I
mm,
wanted a promotion.
mm-hmm.
Okay, I wanted a
That's your
promotion.
mission.
I didn't get it.
Mm,
First of all, I didn't give up. I built resilient.
mm-hmm.
I didn't give, and the fact that I failed, I was
Mm,
humiliated.
yeah.
It was to go to work. But I put all that behind me and I crushed
True.
it and I went back to work like a champion. And I said I was going to have fun.
Yeah.
Have fun being humiliated. Sometimes we take ourselves too serious. We take ourselves too serious. You know, we
Yes.
just sometimes just need to relax. Just relax. You know, and that was what I did. I took myself too seriously. So the moment I decided not to take myself too seriously, everything I was able to communicate. I was able to connect.
And you were able to
I was able to lower
understand.
myself down and ask someone to be my partner.
Yeah, and most
I was
importantly,
even able
I
to
think
reappreciate.
I think Nadine, I think in a real life, and I really like your story so far, but I'm trying to to apply it to non-corporate situations, just normal real life business, life, emotions, whatever situations. And I hear you very well. And correct me if I'm wrong, but you're saying that when you fail, which is not exactly failure, it's lessons learned. When you have learned those lessons that did not lead to success, don't take yourselves too seriously. Don't be too hard on yourself. Take a step back, look at your environment. In
Be
your
humble.
case at work, be humble, but in your case at work, you started looking at the rituals, understanding how how it works within your work environment. I think on the same thing in a non corporate environment, just look around you, look around how how other people that are doing this thing that you want to do have succeeded, or you understand. Look around you, find the tools, find the mentors, find the people, understand how this particular mission you set for yourself, how it how others have made it work, and copy from that. Right? Is that right?
Exactly. That's
Mm-hmm.
it. That's it. That's it. So the last point, actually, your past failures don't because the fact if I had let the fact that I didn't get the post determine what was going to happen in the future, I wouldn't have
Mm-hmm.
gotten back to work.
Yeah, exactly.
I would
Yeah,
have gone to work, but with that resignation letter.
yeah.
But the fact that I didn't let that determine my future, I was like, you know what? Yeah, it didn't work out. It didn't work out. But I'm just gonna go and have fun. I actually dropped myself from all those pressure. I decided to bring myself back to the ground level psychologically. Like what they say, tu dois apprendre à reculer derrière pour mieux sauter.
Right. So you have to learn how to walk, to take a few steps backwards to better jump forward. I like that. So Tessie is asking you to repeat that. I thought our mission,
Exactly.
Tessie is asking, I thought our mission is your goal. I think she means our goal. Nadine. So yeah, I think that's the same thing, right? The mission is the goal that you have set for yourself.
But the thing is, in every action we take, it has a mission on its own.
Right.
Is it? Everything that we do, you know, it has
Mm-hmm.
like what they say. Let me put it this way: there is failure, okay, as a person,
Mm-hmm.
and there is failure as an event.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the time, when we fail at something, we just say we're failures, whereas we're not.
We
Most
feel
of the
that
failures that we have, there's failure as person. Where you have failed, that's when you are like, let's say what they call your they have what they call your SDF, people who have sans domicile fixe, like the
mm,
junkies. If you're
yeah,
90 something year old and then you're junkie, and then you're junkie, then yeah, you can say you failed, even though we don't
mm-hmm.
want to get into the reasons why you're there.
Mm-hmm.
So there's failure as a person and there's failure as events. And most of the time we fail at events.
Mm-hmm.
And every event has a goal.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to align those goals with your true who you are.
Mm-hmm.
So you're walking towards those goals, walk towards those goals with your true self.
Mm-hmm. I like that. So Percy's asking a question. Nadine, can you please tell us what other benefits you got from that mentor? I mean, other than the promotion. So other than your promotion, what other benefits did you have from having a godfather at work?
I'm a personal development coach who paid for it. It's my company.
Ah, okay. That's a big
Yeah,
one.
because they realized that I had understood. Yeah, I had understood. I had understood the company politics. I had
Mm-hmm,
understood what it took to get to the top level, because I had
mm-hmm,
all what they call antecedents. They had all my previous application, so they knew
mm-hmm,
I was actually fit to
mm-hmm.
coach people and mentor people that were coming in, mentor interns, mentor people that wanted to actually change a career path still in the company.
Yeah. Wow, that's good. That's
But
a,
but but most of all, Gority, I'm not gonna lie to you. What I gained really from all that experience is humility. Because if I am still at the top, if I am still there, if I am still there, is because I learned from all of that. I learned to be humble, and that humility for me now it has cemented my path. So wherever I meet, whether I'm in a meeting with suppliers, whether I'm in a meeting with my peers, whether I'm in a meeting with my bosses, that humility is what takes me through.
oh, I like that. I really
But
do
if
like.
but if but if I had gotten the post at maybe at my third trial, I would have been very cocky.
Yeah,
I would have been overconfident. Like
yeah.
Bill Gates like Bill Gates says success seduces us into thinking that we can never fail.
Mm,
So I would have been very cocky, thinking I'm powerful, thinking I'm never gonna fail.
mm. Walking around calling yourself boss
So right
lady.
now, that humility,
Yeah, I get it. I like that. I like that.
right?
That's a powerful lesson. Yeah.
So right now, that humility is what is helping me stay where I am, which is even why they offered me the training, the personal development training, so
Mm-hmm.
I
Others.
can help with the recruitment process, with the interns, with people with change career path, and so on.
This has been, oh, Nadine, I'm so glad that even in spite of this internet, we pushed on. But there's something that Cecilia says, which will cover our face. So I'm just going to read it off here. She says, what you see in your mind's eye when you use a word
Okay.
determines if you should use a certain word or not when it comes to you as an individual. Visualization is a very powerful tool. If you see your next step is success immediately after a failure, then you're safe to use the word failure. If you see your next three steps being failures after a failure, then it's safer not to use the word failure, but to reprogram your mind until you see your failures as stepping stones to your success. That's from Cecilia, Dr. Cecilia. Yeah.
Yeah, which is exactly what I was saying. We need to reprogram our mind. We need to
Mm,
reprogram our mind so that we can swing through life without fear.
mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna take like an no, I don't know if I'm allowed to take that example. It was actually about you, Gority. I can actually see that you're not scared of failing. Yeah,
Nah, I
yeah,
felt too many times to be scared of
I
failing.
can actually see that.
I'm not. Mm,
I know, but I don't think you're scared. But I don't think you're scared of failing. The
no,
thing is,
not anymore.
what drives you? You experiment. Not anymore.
Exactly. Yeah, I failed too many times, and like Doctor is saying, I failed too many
To
times
me,
that I don't see my failures as failure anymore. I'm one of those who actually doesn't use the word fail. I'm like, okay, I tried this, it didn't work. Well, I learned the lessons. I'm going to try this different direction. You know, I've been in the film business for so many years. I'm still not done taking it to where I want to take it, but I'm not because and there've been so many, you know, so many failures along the way. But I'm not one to give up. I will get there, even if it's at 70. I know I will get there, so I just keep going. Yeah,
Exactly. Even with your show, even with
yeah,
this show, with the go, you're not scared of bringing in people who've been controversial.
no,
You don't care. Do you
yeah,
understand? Exactly.
yeah,
And until you do, that's when you're gonna understand what the result is.
yeah,
And that's a quality of someone who isn't afraid of failing. And when you're on that path, you're never gonna fail. The greatest thing you're ever gonna get is lesson learned, tacit knowledge.
yeah.
And you can only gain them by failing, by getting
Yes,
up and by trying again and
I
failing
keep
and
trying.
adapting it to the previous result and keep trying. There's
Yeah.
only one outcome, and it's not failure, and it's
No,
lesson learned.
lessons and success is gonna come. It's gonna come.
Exactly.
Well, no, this has been really amazing. I mean, we've been here for an hour and 15 minutes now, and this is thank God. I really am, and you and I truly are not scared of failure because the beginning that really, the terrible
Oh,
connections that have put us off, but we've pushed through and we've cracked on, and I think we've all learned quite a lot from today. So I am thankful to you and thankful for those who have stayed to watch. A lot of people have dropped off, which is understandable because it's not the best of network, but I know that they'll watch after the show. So for you who's watching after the show, thank you for staying till now. Nadine, this has been great. So any final words of encouragement and to our guest or your guests?
I have two word of encouragement. The first thing is never judge any person's worth by their intelligence and worth, but rather by how quickly they can get discouraged. Does that make sense?
It does. It does to me, but a question
Do,
came here which
do I
tells me
repeat
that
that?
we Nadine, Tessis asked the question which tells me that we didn't the message hasn't gotten there clearly. Our on the poster, our topic for today is how to turn our failures into success. We have told it via Nadine's story, but I think Tessie wants you to be more direct. So as a coach, Nadine, how can we turn failures to success and how do we apply lessons learned?
Well, you
Did you
can
hear
turn your
me?
failures into success once by not. Yes, I heard. Yeah, yeah. First of all, is by not quitting too quickly. Don't abandon quickly. And then secondly, You have to change the narrative. You have to change your cycle. You have to change a mindset. We need to have a mindset shift. There's no such thing as failure. The worst thing that can ever come out of something is a lesson that you've learned.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always about the lesson you're going to learn. Yeah, even if you don't get the result that you were supposed to get, but there's a result that's going to come out. Have you
Mm-hmm.
identified it? Have you learned? Can you carry the next action while adapting it to the result that you got? And the
Mm-hmm.
third one is don't judge, don't predict your future by your past
By
failures.
for your past failures.
Yeah.
That's
So what is gonna determine your future? It's you, your true nature, your values. That's what's gonna determine your true nature. Don't label yourself as failure or by through your past mistakes, or don't let other people label you through your past mistakes. And even if they do, or even if you let yourself, it's only your true nature, your true values, that you can actually let that come out, and then reposition yourself as this is who I am.
yeah.
And you always have to, all the time, you always have to try and position yourself, this is who I am. I am not who you think I am, but this is who I am. And we always have to remember that principles are not to be broken. It is principles that have the power to break. And that principle is you. So long as you let that come out, so no one can break your principles, but it is your principles that have the power to break all what people label on you. So that's my final word.
No one can break your principles, but it's your principles that have the power to break what people label on you.
No, not meant to be broken. It's principles that have power to break.
On that note, my darling, thank you so much, so much. This was really powerful, like Eunice says. So thank you very, very much for that. Doctor says that connection was indeed bad, but the session was worth watching. So yeah, no, honestly, this was good. This was good for me as well. Very good reminder on persistence, on reprogramming your mind, on never giving up, and on truly, truly taking the lessons that you have learned in your failures, to push that journey until you get what is your ultimate
There's
goal.
always a lesson.
Yes, it
There's
is.
always a lesson to be learned.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're just too blinded that we can't see the lesson that's there to learn. There's always a lesson to be learned. Give your time, give that time for experimenting. Give time. Always give that when you back on the mission where you take an action. Yeah, say I want to succeed in that action, but I also want to give the time to succeed.
Yes, give yourself time. Yeah. I like that. Nad, thank you, my darling. And I'm going to let you know, because it's almost 10:30 in France now. I thank you for your time, and I really thank you for your coaching tonight. It was really great. So I'm going to keep you backstage. Do you want to say one final bye-bye, and then I'll take you backstage, and while we close?
Just want to say thank you to you, Gority. It's an amazing show. Even though sometimes I get kept at work and I can't get in quickly or to follow, but I always rewatch it after. And thank you, you're doing an amazing job. Really, really, really. I hope everybody can just get there and support you. Yeah, genuinely doing an amazing, amazing, amazing job. Thank you so much for all your viewers. I hope being able to change someone's perspective or someone's the way someone view failure. I hope we've been able to empower someone or motivate someone who's probably trying to give up or has been trying something over and over and over again, and maybe was at the verge of giving up. No, don't give up. Keep going, and you're definitely gonna reach there.
Exactly. Just like the Moma says, keep pressing to reach your dream. Thanks, darling. I'm going to take you backstage now, and then I'll say good night. Guys, thank you so much for staying till the end in spite of this challenging network that we had today. It was, but I know that we all got Nadine's message, which was, I mean, like I said earlier, as she was leaving, I have been reminded of three things. You need to, number one, don't call it failure. Lessons learned. That's what I was reminded of. Number two, again, understand whatever. Take the lessons from the failures. Take the lessons from the non-successes to move to the next step. Perfect them, correct them as much as you can, move to the next step. And finally, don't give up too early. Don't give up too early. Keep pressing, keep pressing, keep pressing. And the thing she said about principle, Nadine, I can't remember it, but I remember it. I'm going to watch this show again just to write that down. But I actually like it. Your principles is what will guide you. And your principles is what will break what people label on you. Something along those lines. I like that very much. So guys, thank you so much. And we're back on Wednesday next week at 8 p.m. And we're talking domestic abuse, domestic violence. We couldn't get the 3-week session, the 3-part session that we wanted, because obviously it's a very sensitive topic, and so many women are not really at a point where they want to, they want to divulge that. But we're going to talk about that on Wednesday. We're going to talk to someone who has actually survived domestic violence and is really willing to share her story with us, which I'm so grateful for. And I'm so grateful for Nadine today. Thank you, Tessie. Tessie says, well done, Goretti. You are a great moderator. I try. But thank you very much. You guys make my job so easy. All those questions, the interaction is amazing. So, and if you have not yet liked our page, what are you waiting for? Just go and like the Great Experience page. Please follow it, share it, invite your friends. There's an invite button. Invite them to come and like our page, and let's continue to grow the TWA community. You guys are amazing. Without you, I couldn't do this. So I thank you. And for those who joined us a bit late, I'm very excited to share this with my friend, Ashley. The Woman Experience, sponsored by Rencam Credit Union. We got an official sponsor. Hey, that is amazing. So thank you. And it's thanks to you guys that we got an official sponsor who is going to be sponsoring our show for the next few months. So I'm really excited to share that with you. And yeah, I can't wait to see you on Wednesday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And God bless you. Thank you so much, Elliot. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Tessie. Thank you, Cheryl. Have a good night, and I'll see you on Wednesday.